metaphorical meditation on rivers in general and their mystical nature and their metaphorical nature, and in particularly the Ohio River here at Madison. And for this first set, I'm going to read 7 sections from the river for you. A great bronze god this morning, swollen and muddy, slowly silting down, muscles rippling like some giant water stallion, moving past Broadway, past Elm, past the geese at the floating marina, past the stacks of the monolithic power plants, past all the bare and sunken trees to list round the bend at Hanover, moving his way on down to Louisville, New Albany, Evansville, Memphis, Cairo, Mississippi, carrying the weight of thousands of lives. The dead are with him as well as the living, dead logs and dead bones, the ghosts of those who perished in his flood, in their perilous leap toward freedom, ferried long ago from Milton's shore, or Indian Kentucky by reckless boatmen, Indian Carons rowing their dark, breathing freight to Elysium. The beginnings and endings of all things tucked within your liquid furrows, your deep rollings as church bells toll you on your cyclic way to a shared oblivion. Hart Crane's great wink of eternity, Whitman's mighty I am thou shine with the sun on your burnished surface, issuing forth vague promise of some hidden covenant to come, some secret bargain with forces unknown, and one day all will be revealed, as the prophet saith, when the weight of all this water, unseen and teeming with life and death, comes at last to rest in the dropless, one-time, silent sea. Sepia tin-type plate, placid and unmoved, only sometimes your liquid skin seems to move slightly northeast by 5-mile-per-hour winds, so unlike that sparkling diamond sheet of yesterday afternoon, light leaping and dancing through scrimshaw branches of bare trees, dazzling in its jeweled brilliance. The names of spots from Pittsburgh to Cairo from a 1922 river chart. Pittsburgh, Point Bridge, Cable's Eddy Light, Deep Run, Round Bottom, Pig Run, Big Run, Fish Creek, Ice Creek, Independence Landing, Hawking, Long Reach, Big Broad Creek, Swan's Landing. Spots known to the pilots who must know by heart each sandy shoal and high or low bar, each outcrop, each crook of land, each sunken tree and pool of purling demon water. Kanawha, Wildcat Hollow, Quaker Bottom, Big Sandy, Long Lick Run, Fish Gut, Logan's Gap, Great Miami, Big Bone, VV Island, Indian Kentucky, Crooked Creek, Big Six, Saluda Reach, Big Squaw, Bare Bone, Grassy Flats. Spots known to the north and south bank dwellers, the John boaters, the bottom farmers, the tide combers, the river folk, whose lives are shaped by the ebb and flow of currents always moving, always shifting through time. Cape Sandy, Duck Run, Puppy Creek Dike, Bee Slough, Bayou Creek, Beggarman Landing, Wabash, Trumbo Ditch, Shawnee Town Rocks, Fig, Hurricane Island, Irish Jimmy Bar, Cumberland, Cottonwood, Tennessee River, Grand Chain, America, Cairo Point. These names contain a buried greatness, a tragic comic history in the commas that separate them, the mystery and majesty of the forgotten, stillborn, always living past. Great brown earth mover, silt shifter, shaker of clay, breaker of rocks, carver of valleys, transporter of blossoms and catkins blown down on your backs on the wind to be cast up and planted somewhere else, 100 miles downstream. You are eternal motion, an ancient cyclotron whose movements appear one way to the unseeing eye that always assumes a surface reality to see seen things, but for you, great nourishing goddess, there is no surface reality. All things pass into and out of you, move under you and through you, and you bring a terrible splendor to things mortal and immortal, things seen and unseen. Right now, there is a white moth riding a log down your speeding stream, slipping its way into a distant spring where she will drink the joy of 1,000 wild flowers. Right now, there is a woman with luminous wings riding the waves of your shimmering surface, scattering purple and white wild grass flowers among your greening banks that soon will dream away in the slumber of golden summer. Mystical wisps of mist just above the river's surface run with the flowing river tide. Is it the wind that pushes them, and the larger cloud that moves 50 feet above them, an almost perfect mimic of the depth and breadth of the water's surging index? Or does the downstream current's flow pull them along with insistent will, urging these silver shadows to roil and roll, somersaulting along like a river of clouds, tumbling down through the circus sky like insubstantial ice flows for an invisible Eliza to hopscotch, to acrobat her way to freedom on, juggling her precarious baby who dreams of Hindu angel arms waving through mist and cloud. Soon the trees that people the banks of this valley will shed their dresses of green like a nun's habitual livery and trade them in for wanton vermilion, for gold, for orange ones with lacy seeds that dazzle and sparkle like glass beads dancing in the spectacle of autumn winds that push misty clouds down through the arms of the valley like rosaries bright in slanting October sunlight. Do fish know they live underwater? Do humans know they walk on air? The ground that is not beneath our feet is meaningless, has no existence, being as it is made up of vast interstices, gaps of nothingness, of space between the spinning protons, the orbiting neutrons, the quirky electrons, the quarks and subatomic showers of infinite molecular space is all Maya, a veil of illusion that flits across our vision screens between the dawn and dusk of our little lives, our being here, which is all a temporal dream or nightmare depending upon how much of the divine is kept alive within that tight shell that surrounds your snug skeleton, which is mostly air, which ascends to air when your days here are done. Where, then, is comfort in this conundrum? Where solace in knowing this? Where the hug and kiss of bliss? It is within you, the real you, that walks on air. The Christ-enlightened you, the tightrope walking Buddha you, aware of the waking nightmare that was your life, aware that something essential deep down there is alive in joy forever, is infinite communion with the source and mouth of the river that flows ceaselessly through the north and souths of your soul, the east and west of your heart, the back and forth of your mind's eye, over and under your empty body, where all things ceaselessly flow up and down, back to and from the one-time dropless endless sea of infinity, where the souls of fishes swim aware with the souls of women and men and deer and all creatures ever caught in this snare here all know the netless element they now swim in, the joyous, timeless, full-knowing river of eternity. Thank you.
Woo! Yay!